Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great. I'm John Khosravi, Managing Attorney of the JQK Immigration Law Firm, coming to you live 5 p.m. Pacific from Los Angeles on July 15th or June 15th to discuss all the craziness that's happening in the immigration system, as well as taking your questions as they come through. I'm sure there's a lot of confusion, a lot of worry, because I get the phone calls and emails, and on this daily that we do, I see it's happening. So we're here Monday through Friday, every weekday, 5 p.m. Pacific, every day on TikTok, that is, Immigration Lawyer John, is which you can reach out. The video recording of this will be on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, as well as clips of it on Instagram. But on Mondays and on Fridays, we also go live on Facebook. So we have multiple cameras here. If you're on Facebook, you can reach out and ask questions. But as well, if you're on, TikTok, you ask questions as well. While it gets started, I just want to remind you that if you are watching on YouTube, just click the subscribe bell button so you get updates. We have a lot of information. I think we do more information than anybody on YouTube for immigration law. So we'll get started with that. The first thing I want to talk about when I'm going through this is some news that came out over the weekend that's scaring a lot of people. It's not fully clear what the situation is, but I have a somewhat of an understanding I want to share, and if things change, we'll let you know about that as well. The reality is that the immigration system, unfortunately, is really a confused system. And so there was a news report that came out from an organization called Roll Call, and they said that, immigration, USCIS has said that they stopped adjudicating or making decisions on green card cases in the United States. This is adjustment of status cases. This scares the bejesus out of a lot of people. Like, what's going on? Are they not adjudicating our cases? Well, they said it was a mistake, the memo that came out. They haven't come forward about anything. But let's talk about this a little bit. So USCIS started is a key word, reopening their offices, which were closed for in-person interviews on June 4th. Now, because of the protests, this got pushed back somewhat. But in the calls I've had with USCIS, various offices in the West Coast I've listened to, they made a big point to say that they are only rescheduling naturalization or citizenship interviews right now. That's their priority. They'll get to adjustment of status, the green card applications, when they get to where they have not scheduled yet. So when this word came out on this article in Roll Call that they're not going to be adjudicating marriage cases or adjustment of status green card cases, I think that's what they meant. They want to get rid of the backlog of citizenship cases first. That's a priority. There are legal issues involved in that as well as to holding on to a citizenship case too long, which could lead to lawsuits. So I think that's their goal. Now, they might change. If there's new updates, we'll let you know. But I think that's what's happening, that they're going to try to get rid of the backlog of citizenship cases first and maybe deal with green card cases that have some sort of priority timing issues like diversity visa lottery cases, kids aging out, that kind of stuff. But that's that. I don't think they're not going to be adjudicating green card cases because myself and colleagues are getting approvals for green cards that don't require interviews. For example, I got a green card for a parent of a U.S. citizen, no interview required. There's people that are doing employment cases that don't require interviews, they're getting approved. There are people that even have marriage cases. I haven't had one myself, but I've heard people say it, and colleagues even say it, that they've had green card cases approved for marriage cases without the interview. So it's all over the place. But, don't freak out, don't worry, things should work themselves out. If you are on adjustment of status, you can stay here until the decision is made. Hopefully you get the work permit, advanced parole child permission, and just, live your life until they finally get to it. So let's get to questions. We have one from Mello asks, what if immigrate from another country and while your green card is pending and commit crime? Well, that's not, I hope you didn't commit a crime. That's terrible, but that's like a major issue. It's not something that we could talk about here. You should consult with an immigration lawyer in private about the arrest record, any conviction records, and analyze what the crime was to see how that affects you. There's a statute called INA 212. There's a section about criminal inadmissibility, who can and can't stay or get a green card if they committed crimes. And so we have to see what kind of crime you committed, what the facts were, and analyze it there. But it's not something we could discuss about here. And so hopefully you could get the help you need. Just schedule a consultation with 1, 2, or 3 lawyers. Everyone's got different skill levels with regards to this kind of topic. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Mello, thanks for following. User Fornat says, H-1B, do I have to go back? I am working. No, if you have a valid H-1B, you're working, you haven't violated your status, you haven't been fired or something like that, you do not have to leave or stuff like that. You could just be here and do what you want to do. That's about it. Let's see, the next question. Okay, so we have questions coming up, but yeah, it's a situation. Things complicated, things pop up. If there's criminal history arrest, yeah, you definitely want to consult with an immigration attorney in private about something like that, because that's a complex issue which you need to analyze. With regards to H-1B, there's a lot of rumors coming that the administration is going to be changing the rules so people on H-1B visas, work visas, all the like are not going to be able to enter the United States. We'll see. I mean, every day they're saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We don't know yet, but when it happens, we'll break it down for you. Busha asks, I stay away from wife for work. We have free travel privileges. Will that suffice for green cards? I don't know. I have to see your case. That's too much of a specific issue that I could advise here. Just consult with an immigration lawyer in private to see what's going on with that case. We got to analyze it and see what's going on. Jitan, thank you. I'm doing well. Just 1 second. I want to check the camera gear. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Sorry, the camera, I adjusted it too low and I couldn't get the full image, but let's go back to the questions. Let's see. Gati asked, is it true or not taking a green card interview from here to December? I think you're asking they're not taking a green card. I just talked about this, Gati, so watch the video of this session that I just did. Tomorrow, probably should be tomorrow around this time, available on YouTube for you to watch. I just spent the first 5 minutes talking about that subject. User 575 asks, hi, if my asylum take time during this time, can someone business sponsor, change the status? It depends on a lot of factors. That's there's so many parts to that question, so many things we have to analyze. You should consult with an immigration attorney about that. It's not something we can talk about here. We got to see what underlying status you had, what accusations are made against you, what the new job is, what your back. There's just so many things we have to know. The answer is maybe, probably not, but maybe. But consult with an immigration lawyer in private. Jitan asks, any changes in process for 10-year green card? No, just do a proper job, fill out the paperwork properly. That's about it, but no changes in the process that could affect you. Necessarily, I don't know about your particular case, but there's nothing overt that happened. Hashmi asks, I heard that citizenship and oath ceremony will take more time than usual. Too many applications. No, actually, one of the issues was there's too little applications for citizenship, and because of that, the funds that USCIS gets, in particular at one service center, is down 60%. So it's not that there's too many applications. Usually during an election year, there are 2 or 3 times as many citizenship applications than normal. So that is a problem. But this year, that hasn't been the case because when coronavirus happened, a lot of people had this misunderstanding, which I try to clear up here every day, is that immigration is shut down. So they have not been filing for citizenship. Because they didn't file for citizenship, they have these officers that are waiting there, they're not getting income from it because they're expecting all these applications to come, so they lost a lot of money. The reason why they lost money is because they're blowing the money on stuff probably that's not needed, or they're abusing the system in some way. But the reality is that too many applications, the factor that's affecting things is the coronavirus shutting down the offices, and that's what's making it make citizenship take a little longer. But they're giving citizenship a priority right now, so it might not be the case. We'll have to see. At the end of the day, you just got to be patient. People really every day asking you about times, and if we're getting a question on that, I'm just going to skip it. But it's at the end of the day, just do it, just do it and wait for the best. Okay, Bush asks, if I move in with my partner, how long do we have to stay together before applying? There's no formula for that. The key is this a real relationship, and how do we prove it's a real relationship? So it's not about some sort of timeline or something like that. Just consult with an immigration lawyer in private and talk about your case to see how you can show the government with paperwork, with documentation, that this is a sincere and real relationship. The timing of moving in doesn't matter. It's just the general story and reality of the relationship. And to show that it's real. That's what you should be focused on. Rimmel asks, I had given interview on March 12th, still no result. How long do you think how long do you think for results should I call? I don't know your case at all. I don't know anything about you. It's not March, April, May, June, 3 or 4 months it happened. So, I wouldn't make any moves until I know exactly what the issues are that will cause the case to go longer. Sometimes it's a major issue that we have to deal with. Sometimes it's the officer falling asleep on the desk. So you really should consult an immigration lawyer in private to see what's going on with your case, what facts and considerations there are, who the office was, all these kind of stuff, and then take it from there. This is a case-by-case specific question. You're welcome, Jitan. Thank you for the kind words. Okay, we have user 758 asks, what is the new update about international student coming from another country? There are no updates. There was word that some updates going to be released on Friday, nothing yet. So we're still waiting to see what's going to happen with that. Let's see, Hashmi asks, what if I did not apply for citizenship after 5 years, you don't have to file for citizenship if you don't want to. So that's that. There's no what if. Just do what you got to do. Ms. asked, did fingerprint in March, sent in work permit application. Do you think I have to do another print? If you sent in your application, if you did your fingerprints and your fingerprints went in the system, you know, legible, readable, probably not. I'm not sure why you're worried about something like that. User 458 asks, can you tell in any info on student OPT? No, they're just rumors so far. There's no facts. There's absolutely no facts. So anyone who's giving information about this probably shouldn't be, because it's going to scare people. All we have is rumors and this and that, leaks and stuff. But from what I've seen, especially repeatedly in the administration, the final product of what they say they're going to do is different from what actually happens. So just be patient. When actual word comes on it, then you know you could deal with it as it comes. The Pal says, I am always thankful because their advice very helpful. You're welcome. I'm glad I'm glad I could help, and I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Busha, you're welcome. You're welcome, User 758. Cast. Can you share some info about asylum case? When will it be expedited? Any alternatives to get PR? I mean, there's no share info. I mean, this is just that's too wide a question. There's no expedite unless you can always request an expedite. Depends on the facts of your case. And alternatives to getting a permanent residency or green card, that really depends on your background. Without knowing anything about you, I mean, there's an investor green card. Do you have $1 million, or there's a marriage green card? Are you getting married? It's too broad a question. You should consult with a lawyer in private for that kind of guidance. If you have an asylum case, hopefully you do have an attorney and not filing alone. Room 535 says, can I apply for travel documents if no asylum approved? If you don't have your asylum approved, you can. I don't think you request a travel document. You can use your passport. You shouldn't travel without that. You could request what's called advanced parole, but I wouldn't leave the country if you have an asylum case pending, especially now that they're going to be changing the asylum rules. Just don't do it. If it's an emergency, maybe you can apply for advanced parole, but again, I don't recommend traveling. That's that. You're welcome, Mitz. Derwood, I'll ask, if someone gets denied their PIP case, there any... Okay, PIP is parole in place. That means you have an immediate relative, a close relative that's a U.S. citizen, a U.S. citizen soldier in the military, and if you entered without permission to the U.S., it creates a parole, creates this legal fiction that says you enter with parole, which allows you to get a work permit and potentially apply for a green card. Unfortunately, their parole in place was denied here. Is there anything you could do about that? I don't know. I got to see why the denial happened in the first place in your case. So it's not something that we can answer here. You're welcome, room 535. So yeah, a lot of these questions, you know, they're so case specific. We can't really ask that. We got to see what's going on. User 75 follows up. The problem is we can't see where is the asylum interview at this moment. No, you can't. So some asylum cases get their interviews after 4 or 5 weeks. Some take 4 or 5 years. They don't tell us this kind of stuff. It's very frustrating, I know. And it's one of the reasons I don't take asylum cases anymore, because I'll start a case now, 5 years go by, still nothing. And clients get really worried, and they call you every day and say, what's going on in my case? And they get mad at you when they have no control, or a lawyer has no control over it. But you just have to be patient. That's just a system that we have. In the last 10 years, every year almost, it's like exponentially rising the number of people filing for asylum. There's a lot of false asylums being filed, because you get a work permit from it, you potentially make an excuse to stay in the country longer. So it's a trick that some people use, but what happens is all of a sudden the numbers of asylum balloon. And those people who have really good asylum cases, who are honest, they get hit by this by people who are taking advantage of it. Now, that's a controversial thing I said. Many immigration lawyers will get offended or angry that I said that, but I know the reality of the situation. There are people filing bad asylums, but there's a lot of people filing good asylum cases, and it's sad because they get hurt. Now, who's going to judge who's good or bad? The asylum officer. You know, some people have a really good case, but they come off like unbelievable, but there's true. You know, that's a hard thing about it. You can't just say, okay, this is bad or good, but just from experience, people calling me up, I know how it could be used as a strategy, and the administration wants to cut down on that, but that's unfair too, because people have some good asylum cases, and then you get really hurt. So it's just a really messed up system that, unfortunately, people who have really good cases, really deserve asylum, are taking forever to get it, but that's just a system that we have. Miss asks, can someone apply for citizenship before getting the 10-year green card, only having 2 years? If you have your removal of conditions pending, and I'm about to release a video on this topic next couple of days, if you file for removal of conditions, you had a 2-year green card, applying for the 10-year green card, while it's pending, if you satisfy the 3-year requirement, you're married and have been living and married with a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years, then yeah, you could file for citizenship and have both applications pending at the same time. So that is possible. User 758 says, I mean, which year? it's all over the place. There's no reliability on years for asylum case interviews. Omi asks, I heard about the changes in asylum. Is that going to affect on new applications or pending cases too? Probably pending cases. I haven't read what the situation with that is. I don't handle asylum cases, so with all this stuff I have to read, has not been a priority, to be honest, for me to read it and talk about it. It's not a case I handle, but from what colleagues tell me, it's going to really mess things up. It's going to be really hard. But whether it applies to already submitted cases, I'm assuming it will, but I don't know. I haven't read the document myself. And it's just proposed changes. So they made a proposal. These could change once the final document comes. So again, one of the main reasons I haven't read it is because this is the proposal. It has 30 or 60 days for people to comment on it, and the final product of what the decision is made on this asylum situation could change drastically. So because it's something that's pending, it's not a finalized document, it's just a notice of potential changes. It's not, again, that's why it's not a priority, because I know, having historically saw this stuff, it's going to change a lot when it's the actual case. And then at that time, if you ask me a question, I'll be able to answer you properly because I'll know what it is. I don't want to say something now, which is on the record, and they come back later and say, well, you said this. Well, I'm not going to say anything because this is just what's called speculation. And so I don't want to come here and speculate and scare the bejesus out of people saying stuff that might not be true down the line in a month, 2 or 3 months from now. So yeah, that's the immigration system, man. It just changes constantly. And it's not just during Trump, and even in the past, this kind of stuff would happen pretty frequently. It's more now, and it's really hardcore now. But that's just stuff we deal with. It's not only policy from up top. Each officer handles things differently. Each office that you go to an interview with does stuff differently. Each office in every state does things differently. It's all over the place. That's why having experienced immigration law is so important, to be prepared for it. And that's why, you got to talk to different lawyers and get different, opinions on your case to see who has the best one, who has seems the most knowledgeable, who experienced with the situation, who could answer your questions the best in the kind of case that you need. And that's really what you have to do if you're looking to hire an immigration lawyer. And it's hard to judge, it's hard. How are you going to know, But then even great lawyers make mistakes. Horrible lawyers do great jobs sometimes. It is kind of random like that. But, you can pretty clearly see who you have confidence in by talking with them. You just got to invest the time and talk to several people, get to know them, do some self-study online, watch a lot of videos and read stuff. It's your life. You got to do your best to do a good job and be prepared for anything that could pop up. So let's see. We have a lot of people in the group. Let me know if you have any questions. I know we went through a speed round right now, answering so many questions right there. So that was nice. And a lot of different kind of questions. I like it when it's not the same stuff every day. I will be here again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, just as I am every Monday through Friday. Every day on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John. That's JOHN Live. Email me if you like to schedule a consultation, or join the newsletter. If you go to the TikTok page, there's a link tree that you click and it takes you to all my links, my Yelp reviews, all that kind of stuff. But if you're on Facebook, if you want to access my website, is jqqlaw.com. You can learn more about my background there, and watch more videos on YouTube as well. JQK Law Firm. So those are the stuff that's happening right now. There's a lot of movement happening. The president every day, every week, bam, I'm going to do this executive order, bam, I'm going to do another one. It just constantly, these changes happen, and it affects people in a bad way. So now it says, hi, how long will it take after you file I-130? Well, it depends on your case, and depends on which service center is handling your case. Once you get your receipt, you should go to uscis.gov. There's a case processing link right there. You click on that. You put in the type of form that you have, and it'll list different service centers that are handling those forms. You see the one that corresponds with your application, and they'll give you an estimated range of how long it takes. It varies drastically. And just keep in mind, whatever information they have on that website for the timelines is not consistent. It could be faster than what it says there. It could be longer. They could lose your file. You could get what's called a request for evidence, which is them saying you're missing something. You got to respond. That changes and delays things on their own. So when people ask how long are things taking, I just say be patient. If it takes a little too long than the times they have for processing times there, then you want to kind of say, okay, let's contact them. Let's write a letter. Let's get someone involved to see what's going on. I have an I-130 case that's pending 2 years now. Should have been done in 6 months. But it's 2 years because they allegedly found some security situation with the people involved. I don't believe it, but all of a sudden 2 years go by. The client is understanding, but it is what it is. Jet says, it's a good time to file asylum now. There's no good or bad time. If you have a case that's for asylum, you file it. So don't even think about it being a good or bad time. It's just you do what you got to do. User 493 says, you are a well-dressed lawyer who always gives excellent counseling. I promise I will use your services. Well, thank you, User 493. It's very kind of you. I try to change it up every week on the suit, but thank you so much for the kind words, and hopefully I can be of service and help you through the process. A nerve-wracking process, but hopefully at the end of it, when all is done, when my clients get the green card or the citizenship certificate in their hand, certificate of naturalization, they're just excited. I have a client who's just left a review right now on my Google My Business page for JK Law about a citizenship case. Guy was super ecstatic. The government incorrectly denied his case. We have to fight it, spend a lot of hours arguing because the denial was just incorrect. It was like the wrong file or something. So we had to fight on that, and I didn't want to appeal it because when you officially appeal it, it's going to take another 6 months and cost like $1,000 in fees and just government fees. So I'm like, no, I don't want to go through appeal. I don't want you blowing all this money and waiting an additional 6 months. Let's get this done now. So we complained to this person, complained to that person, then complained to them again and again and again. It got so annoying that they finally, all of a sudden, we got an email saying case is approved. And then last week, did his oath ceremony. He got the certificate, applying for his passport now. That's going to be delayed, getting the passport, but he was really happy. And so those are the kind of scenarios we like that. Yeah, that's where lawyering comes. He had an easy case. At the beginning, when he came to me, I said, you have an open and shut case. Just file your citizenship yourself. He's like, no, I want to do it with you. And I'm glad he did, because he wouldn't have known how to handle the situation, and we would have missed the opportunity to fix it without filing an official appeal if he came to me later on when that happened. I already knew what's going on in the case, so I could just jump on it and start doing what I needed to do to correct the case. And so that's why, I probably should stop telling people you can do the case on your own when they can, because you never know how USCIS is going to do stuff, and it's good to have a lawyer on hand. It's expensive, costs money, but having an advocate, it could be really helpful and a key factor in success in these kind of cases. Okay, let's see. All says, do you think requesting a letter from the country or governor will help expedite? If you're filing for asylum, I don't know. I was asking if we get a letter from a governor or from a country to help expedite the asylum case, so that makes a difference. It depends on what's going on with their case. So these aren't questions I can answer here. This is very case specific. You need to talk with a lawyer in private, maybe 2 or 3. Break down what your asylum case is. Break down your need for an expedite. What's emergency nature? Why do you need it so quickly? And then you can think about writing a letter. But this isn't the forum for such case-specific advice. This is just for general educational kind of material. User 54 says, I'm still waiting for my renewal green card. Yeah, it takes a while, unfortunately, to get this kind of stuff. There is large delays. Okay, so we're nearing the end of today's broadcast. Just let me know, shoot some questions if you have it. These delays are these delays, so it is what it is. On Facebook, Vikram asks, I got my documents accepted by the National Visa Center, the MVC, on April 22nd, 2020, but my birth certificate got replaced in May 2020. Do I need to update it now? Well, Vikram, thanks. We actually talked by email a little bit ago. If your green card got replaced or you lost it and you get a new one, just bring the new one with you to the interview. They want to see an original document. That's your birth certificate, either original or certified. So it has to be a proper, I got to see the document itself so I could tell if it's a proper one or not. But let's say it is a proper one that's acceptable. You bring that to the interview and let them know you lost that original one that you uploaded. Shouldn't be a problem as long as you have the right documents. Now, it's not 100%. First of all, I have to see the document you have, and you never know which officer at the embassy is going to do what. But just reasonably speaking, you just bring what you need to the interview and update it. That's usually fine. They may ask you to upload a copy of that to the National Visa Center SEAC website. So what I would do is have a scan of that copy ready. When you go to the interview beforehand, they may open it up, the SEAC website, which is locked right now for you to upload documents. Maybe upload it there so it's there in their system in case they want to ask you to do it later. Or after the interview, they may ask you to do that. But generally speaking, if you have a certified copy of something that's official, why hassle? So most likely it'll be just fine. User girl, go ahead and ask your question. Okay, just asked, I'm trying to get married outside the U.S. How long will it take to bring her in? I don't know. There's no times. Right now, embassies are shut down, so there's huge delays happening. There's immigrant visa bans, there's COVID bans. So the questions about how long don't make much sense right now. If you're in love, just get married and do it. Maybe do a fiance visa, potentially maybe get married. Just consult with a lawyer and they can break down general timelines and explain why things are a little weird and hard to answer. But that's just the nature of the system right now. There's no reliability in it. And, there's not only is it the administration, but as I said, it's COVID-19. There's bans for that. There's unemployment in the United States, so there are bans to prevent people from coming to work. The president just makes stuff up on their own. There's all sorts of stuff. So hopefully, 2 years, less than 2 years. but we don't know. It depends on your case, the background, what country they're from, and what's going on in the world at that time that they do their visa interview. There's so many variables. I don't like to give specific answers here. If we sat down and talked about it, I could give as best as I can to your case, but I always add a caveat. I would say there's an exception here. This could all be wrong, and it could take much longer. And I've seen that happen. So just be prepared for the worst. Just know, getting the process started, and hopefully it'll be done sooner rather than later. But there are no guarantees in this process, and it could take a while. You're welcome, Vikrat. Thank you for following on Facebook. And I appreciate just reaching out and on Instagram and on Facebook. I wish you the best in your interview. Okay, so we're nearing the very end of today's program. If you have one or two last questions, let me know. We'll shoot it out here. If not, we'll be back here tomorrow, Tuesday, June 16th, to talk about it at 5 p.m. Pacific on Immigration Lawyers Toolbox. I'm sorry, not Toolbox. Immigration Lawyers John. And then tomorrow we're going to be on Instagram instead of Facebook. So we're going to be on JQK Law Firm's Instagram page, going live to talk about all this stuff, to answer questions, and keep you posted on what's going on. Usually I start the program telling you about updates that are happening. Like today I talked about this, this word that they might be shutting down, adjustment of status, green card interviews, but we'll see how it goes from there. We'll bring it up tomorrow with any new information. So Prabha asks, hi sir, I got my work permit almost 50 days ago. I applied for Social Security also. I not got it, please let me know. I did a video on this, Prabha. It's on my YouTube page, JK Law Firm. Social Security office is having problems right now. They're not issuing stuff they should, but watch the video. It's on the JQK Law Firm YouTube. I put it out a couple days ago, and it's one of the recent videos where I break down the whole Social Security situation. Again, it's JQK Law Firm YouTube page. Once you go there, you'll see a video where I describe the situation with Social Security numbers. Sandbox, any changes in the asylum program? Well, there will be changes coming up pretty soon, but I talked about this earlier. We don't know what those are yet, so until these changes are finalized, I'm not going to come here and speculate. I don't want to say something that's going to be different in 30 days. There's no point in guessing about stuff like that. But expect changes to be happening to the asylum system. Now, there's going to be lawsuits that happen against it, whether those lawsuits stop it or pause it. There's just a lot of moving parts on it. But if you have a good asylum case, hopefully you'll file it and hopefully you'll get it. But really, if you have an asylum case, you should go and consult with an attorney in private to get guidance on this kind of stuff. You don't want to make any mistakes, and you want to try your best not to make any mistakes. You never know, or just to keep your case strong. So I guess with that, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone on TikTok. Thank you everyone on Facebook. We had really good questions today. I appreciate you guys coming on. The recording of this will be on YouTube, the JQK Law Firm YouTube page. Please subscribe. I want to build it. The more attention I get on the YouTube page, the more material I'll put out, because I know the people are there. And on TikTok, if you haven't subscribed already, please follow and join, and we'll put out more videos there too. Usually I like doing live on TikTok as opposed to the videos, but if I see more people are asking, please do short videos, we'll do more short videos. We'll do it all. But YouTube, every day, hours and hours of stuff a week I'm putting out there, and I think you all enjoy it to keep updated on your cases. So everyone on Facebook, thank you for joining and watching. Everyone on TikTok, thanks again too. I hope you all stay safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi of the JQK Law Firm. Send me an email if you're interested in talking more. But until then, have a good one. God bless and be safe. Bye-bye.